Hello. Hi. Welcome. How can I help you today? Yes, this is an ASMR bookstore. The idea is that reading and enjoying a good book is similar to enjoying the cozy and satisfying feelings that ASMR gives you. So we tried to combine both into this bookstore. So if you'd like, you can have a look around at our collection, or if you're looking for like a personal recommendation, you can always sit down here in front of me. I have like a 5-minute survey we can go through, and then I could give you some personal recommendations based on your results. Yeah, okay, no problem. Just pull up a seat. Let me just put this back on the shelf. I'll just stick it here. There we go. Alright, are you comfy? That's excellent. Let me just grab this, and I'll pull up the survey. Okay, so we're gonna ask you a few questions, and then you're gonna get some personalized recommendations based on your results, and then I'll see what we have in store. I'll pull those books for you and try to explain a little bit about them, and then you don't have to buy anything if you don't like, but if you are interested, then we can ring those up and you can take them home today. Does that sound good? Okay, let's get started. So first, if I could just have your name, that's just so that it's personalized, like it'll say your name results, but if you don't want to give me that, that's fine. Okay. Alright. And how many books would you say that you read last year? Is it less than 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, or more than 20? Okay. And how many books have you read so far this year? Same answers. Less than 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, or more than 20? Okay. Alright. Do you prefer fiction or non-fiction books, or do you enjoy them both equally? Now, for this next bit, I am going to list a bunch of genres, and every time I say a genre that you are interested in, I would like you to just tell me. Just say yes, okay? Sci-fi, fantasy, romance, horror/thriller, historical, war stories, mysteries, travel, westerns, sports, supernatural, LGBTQ+, biographies, self-help, and spiritual. Now, what age range do you prefer to read? It doesn't have to be your age range. There's no judgment here. So we have children's, young adult, new adult, and adult. New adult is a sort of new classification that bridges young adult and adult. It tends to range from like 18 to early mid-30s, but all range of people enjoy it. It's more characters in that age range, but sometimes with more like adult content. Okay, and you can check more than one, it's okay. Okay. Alright, I know this is a tough one, but if you could list 1 to 3 of your all-time favorite books, it can just be one that you think of, and then I'll put it in and we'll grab those. we're trying to help catalog, your specific tastes, and then it'll spit out some suggestions. Okay. Yeah, okay, let me see. Oh, no, that's on here. Okay. You don't have to add any more, but if you want to add another. Okay. Got it. And then similarly, if you could list 1 to 3 of your favorite authors, they can be like a must-buy author that you really enjoy their works and you get any of their new stuff, or just an author you've enjoyed reading several of their works before in the past. No, take your time. I know sometimes it's easier to remember a title than an author. If you need, I can look up the author title for you. Yeah, okay, I'll look their name up. So it's, what did you say the name was? Okay, yep, you were right. Yeah. Okay, I'll put them down. And were there any others, or just the one? Okay. Okay. Do you prefer reading physical books, ebooks, or listening to audiobooks? Okay. How many hours a day do you typically spend reading or listening to audiobooks? Less than 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, or more than 3 hours? Okay. Just on average. How often do you DNF a book? That's basically did not finish, and you can give me an A percentage, like 25% of the time I don't finish, or 60% of the time I don't finish. Again, no judgment. Okay. And where do you prefer to get your book recommendations from? Do you get them from YouTube, Goodreads, other social media, or in-person recommendations? Kind of like today, or a friend maybe. Okay, and can you can check more than one. So, okay, so YouTube and TikTok. Anything else? Okay. And then a fun one. What is your most recent 5-star read? Ooh, I don't know that one actually. I'm gonna have to look that up. Could you repeat the name again for me? Okay. Do you know the author's name? I can just look it up. It doesn't. Okay. Okay. So that's the end of the sort of book survey. I do have some quick reader demographics if you don't mind filling that out. This is totally optional. If any of the questions you don't want to answer, just say skip. We'll skip it, no problems. We're just, again, trying to kind of create a profile of what our customers like to read. And it's completely private and anonymous. We will be sharing this information with anyone, okay? So, what is your age range? Under 18, 18 to 29, 30 to 39, or 40 plus? Okay. Male, female, or non-binary? Do you own a library card? Okay. How many physical books would you say you have at home? You can just guesstimate, that's fine. Wow, okay. do you own an e-reader? Yes. Okay. And how often would you say you check out books from the library and or use the Libby app? Okay. What is your zip code? We're just trying to figure out where our customers are located. Okay. And then finally, if you would like to share your email with us, I can send you a copy of all your results to you. So it's not for us, it would just be to send the results to you. And then that way, if you want to take some of your recommendations to the library or another bookstore, don't worry, I won't get jealous. Yeah? Okay, go ahead and spell that out for me. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna send that off and we'll wait just a minute. You'll get some personal recommendations, but also I'm gonna throw in some of mine, not using their algorithm, but I'll put in some of my own. So if you just have a seat there, continue to wait, and then, okay, it's already done. I will go grab a couple of these with maybe one or two of my own based on what you told me. Okay, so sit tight right there. Let me go get that. Okay, so I went ahead and I grabbed a bit of a range for you based on the different genres and styles that you said you were interested in. I've actually read all of these, so I can give these all my own personal thumbs up, little stamp of approval. So we're gonna start with, okay, starting out with a fiction work here. This is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, and I recently read this one. I gave it 5 stars. I only go, just so you know, I only use a whole star rating system. I don't do any half stars. If I could, then maybe I would give more of a 4.5. I think all these books actually that I have to show you are 5-star reads that I marked 5 stars in my Goodreads. So I will just give you a quick synopsis. Sometimes I don't like to read the inside cover synopsis because it's a little spoilery. So indeed, something very big happens right off the bat in this book. And the first chapter, I want to say, which is mentioned in the inside cover. So if you don't want that sort of spoiler, then I won't mention it. Alright, well basically this is a pretty meta book about authors. 2 different sort of rival authors. June Hayward is the main character here, and then she has sort of a contemporary called Athena Liu. And Athena is a star. She's very successful. She's getting Netflix deals. All her books are bestsellers. And June is struggling. She's a struggling author. This book centers a lot around identity and a little bit of sort of race politics, I guess you could say. A lot of the book takes place in sort of an online discourse, which is very interesting, I'd say, to a young modern reader. It's interesting to see fiction taking place in this sort of online spaces that we frequently inhabit. I also found this book very interesting from a reader who's interested in the writing process. R.F. Kuang really does a bit of self-inserting throughout the book, discussing the literary process, what publishing is like, querying, and what it looks like to be successful in the book world. So if you have ever found yourself interested in this side of the book world, this is a great read. Very quick. It reads very easily. I think I finished this in about 24 hours, give or take, and I think you could too. It is, let me look at the page count. It's just over 300 pages, so it's a pretty quick read. Yes, R.F. Kuang is known for reading or writing a lot of fantasy, like Babel and the Poppy War series. So I know that this one is kind of different from her other works. There's no fantasy element, really, and it is a purely contemporary fiction work, if you're interested in that sort of thing. I know you said you mentioned a couple of books that are somewhat similar contemporary fiction, but I know you mentioned you like a lot of fantasy. Okay, we'll keep that one in mind. The next book I have is a young adult fantasy. This is The Cruel Prince. You've heard of it? But you haven't read it? Okay. Well, this is a 5-star read from me, and it is an all-time favorite read. Typically, I don't read a lot of young adult books, but this is always going to be an exception for me. In fact, I've read the series twice, and I am planning on doing a reread again this year because I love it so much. The Cruel Prince is about a fantasy fairy world, sort of adjacent to our modern world. It is really not set in our modern world, but it exists. So the main character of this book is a modern human girl named Jude. Jude is a twin, and she and her twin, very early in the book, are sort of stolen away to fairyland. This is a very dark interpretation of the fairy realm that is popular in a lot of I would say BookTok, BookTube popular fae worlds. This one's quite gritty, surprisingly dark for young adult, and it involves a lot of court politics in this fairy realm, hence the prince title. Court politics, scheming, plotting. Jude is one of the best written heroines I have ever read. She is extremely well written, and I'd say a very believably well written young adult character. She acts her age while still a little bit wise beyond her years, but not in a Mary Sue kind of way. There is, I'll say, a light romance element in this book, or in this series really. It is not a focal point if that's what you're interested in. However, it is excellently done. So don't read this if you're looking for romance, but it will find you along the way. So this is the first book in a series. There are 3. The Cruel Prince, the Wicked King, and Queen of Nothing. And altogether it's referred to as the Folk of the Air series. There are also spin-offs. I won't tell you much about them because the spin-offs, if I talk about them, they're kind of spoilers for what happened in the series. So I would say if you're interested in the series, just start here. Don't read anything. Don't read anything else about it. Just go in. This is also a quick read. I know I finished this in one night. I sat down, I had heard a lot of people talking about it. I was like, let me see what this thing is all about. And I devoured it. I read it all in one night. And the next day, I burned through the second book. And then I had to wait to buy the third book. But then I devoured that one in a day as well. And I just ate it up, and it was scrumptious. this one is also, well, it's a little over 350 pages. But I think Holly Black is an absolutely excellent gold standard author, and she's one of my must-read authors now. And like I said, I don't even normally like young adult, but it's well written. And I'll just say, if you purchase the hardcover, I'm not always a big dust jacket fan. I like to take them off when I read, and so I think that the hardcover of this book is so stunning. Look at that. Isn't that so beautiful? I love the little stars. I'm a sucker for black with gold foil. I think it's classic, it's timeless. So, while I recommend purchasing this book, I also recommend purchasing it in the set of all three, because honestly, I think that once you pick this one up, you're not going to want to stop until you read all three. So, not sure I recommend purchasing it on its own, but this is the only one that is part of a series. The rest are all standalone works. So I totally understand if you are not interested in getting this today, but based on the other books that you recommended, the other young adult titles that you read when you were younger, I think this is right up your alley, and I think it's going to be a favorite. I'll just say I've personally recommended this one to my friends, and I have yet to hear anything negative from a friend who's read it. Did I make any sense? Like, I recommended this to multiple people to read, and they are now equally obsessed with this. They think it is great, 5 stars. I would love to make you another convert. Okay. Next, I have a fantasy book for you here. This is Watermoon by Samantha Soroyambao, and this is sort of a buzzy book at the moment. I feel like I've heard a few people talking about it. This is a fantasy with a very, very light romance in it. I suppose some people have labeled it as a fantasy romance, but personally, if you ask me, the romance is one of the weaker aspects of this book. I think that the world building in this is fantastic. So, come for the romance, but stay for the world building, basically. Watermoon is a story about a young girl who inherits her father's pawn shop in Tokyo. In Tokyo, there is a ramen shop, and occasionally someone walks into the ramen shop and they enter the pawn shop. The pawn shop that our main character has inherited. So right off the bat, the magic starts there, and I really was completely gripped by this premise right off the bat of the magical ramen shop slash pawn shop. But it continues, because this isn't a normal pawn shop. It's a magical pawn shop where you pawn life's choices. If you made a decision in the past that you maybe regret, you can go to this pawn shop and you can pawn this choice. They'll take it off your hands and you'll forever be changed. This is a very sweepingly magical, cozy story. Medium stakes, I would say. It's not as low stakes as Legends and Lattes, but it's not a high stakes, high fantasy story either. Set in a magical Japan in a Studio Ghibli-esque fashion. So if you do enjoy any of Hayao Miyazaki's films, this is right up your alley. I mean, the cover alone is beautiful and kind of illustrates the divide between modern Japan and all of its high-rise glory with this magical Miyazaki-esque world. So, the best part, if you get this hardcover, and this is part of the reason why I recommend this book to almost everybody, is that the dust cover comes off, as they all do. And get this. The dust cover can be folded up as origami. How cool is that? I have never had a book dust cover become origami before, and I thought that that was so cool. This is our main character, Hana. And then our other main character up here, who, as I said, he's not, no, it's not that he's not important, but he's, I suppose, our other main character. And then the actual hardcover of the book underneath the origami dust cover is beautiful. Hey, my nails kinda match, don't they? And it's a good tapping book. You can see they're in like little origami boats, and that's what you fold the paper in here. If I open up the book, here are the instructions, and so this is the final result. It will look like this little boat here, or like here. So step-by-step instructions on the front and back end papers. But the hardcover itself, gorgeous. I love the colors. It says Water Moon down the side. I'm a little ashamed to say that I got this one purely based on the vibes of the cover. I know, terrible of me, right? But I'm a sucker for a beautiful book, and I saw this and I also thought the title was beautiful, Water Moon. So I was really hoping I would like it. And I did. As I said, personally, and I really like romance, but I thought the romance was not the stronger part, but I could have lived in this world. I ate it up. So that one is Water Moon. Let me put the dust cover back on that. And you can leave it on. I mean, it's a beautiful dust cover actually. Or you could fold it up and make the origami. It's your book, whatever you want to do. So, and the last suggestion we have for you here today is a purely romance, although it is a paranormal romance. It is Fan Service by Rosie Denon, and we only have this one in a paperback. We have all the others in hardcover and paperback, or actually Water Moon might not be out in paperback yet. We might just have a hardcover of that, but this is a quick paperback. The premise of this one is our heroine here, what's her name? Alex. Alex is a huge fan of this old CW-esque, it's called the, it's called like the TW or something, show about a werewolf and his vampire nemesis. It sounds kind of supernatural-esque, kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I suppose. It aired in the mid-2000s, I think. So she's a huge fan, and she made an entire wiki fan site for all the little facts and details about the show. And this guy, I did just read it, I should remember the names. Devin, he's the star. He plays the werewolf on the show. And basically, he suspects he may be turning into a werewolf in real life. And he doesn't know who to go to, except for perhaps show expert and huge fan, Alex. So it is a Grumpy Sunshine book. It is a little bit enemies to lovers. Initially she hates him due to a really bad meet and greet interaction at a Comic-Con, basically, when she was a teenager. It's also an age gap. There's a bit of an age gap, although she's like 34, I think, and he is like 42. So they're slightly older, which is nice. But it's paranormal. And this is definitely an adult romance. There are adult scenes in it, so not for children, not for under 18. But it's a pretty quick read. It's like a short and fluffy cotton candy, short and sweet kind of book. How many pages? Oh, I didn't tell you how many pages Watermoon was. This one's actually over 400 pages long. This may be the longest book. Let me look at Watermoon really quickly. This one looks a little longer too. No, this one is a little over 350 pages. So this is the longest book, but it went by very, very quickly. I just kind of was pulled in and just kept reading like one more chapter and one more chapter. And I've recommended it to all of my romance-loving girlfriends, especially the ones who love vampires and werewolves and that sort of deal. It's really fun. It's not a perfect book, but I gave it 5 stars for just being fun, silly. I enjoyed both main characters, and I enjoyed side characters as well. So I think it's a fun, easy read. So those are the 4 personal recommendations that we have for you today. Flip it around so you can see the spines. Absolutely no pressure if you would like to purchase any of them. You can always just take this information to rent them at the library, what have you. Although then you don't get to keep the cool cover of Watermoon. Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I totally get it. I also got these in the boxed set of 3, and you can purchase the box set. I don't believe we carry it in the store. I think you might have to go online and do that. I can give you a link to our website, or I think it's on the survey actually when you get the results emailed to you. That's totally fine. We'll put it back. It's okay. But we are gonna go with Yellowface, Watermoon, and fan service. Alright, I will ring them up for you. Just wait right here. I will say thank you for supporting local. Really appreciate it. Okay. Okay. total will be $81.99 today. Do you want to use cash or card? Okay. Okay, and because you did spend over $50 with us today, we have a little gift. We do have a free bookmark for you. So today you're getting the Phases of the Moon. I picked this out for you because I thought it fit the theme of water moon. And also, well, fan service being werewolf, moon, full moon, and all that. So I kind of thought it was like it really doesn't have anything to do with yellow face. But the other two, we got it. And also I have a little sticker for you. It's a tropes sticker, so it says like slow burn, enemies to lovers, only one bed. So you can put that on your water bottle or your laptop or whatever you'd like. So I'll just stick this in the bag with it. And again, we want to thank you for shopping local. Thank you for shopping at the ASMR bookstore. We really appreciate your business. I really hope you do come back again. And we'll always have more recommendations, more personalized recommendations, more books, all sorts of good things. I hope you enjoyed your time here today, and I hope that I helped relax you a little bit. Now go home, get comfy, crack those books open, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for stopping by.